Picture this, a door rattling like thunder as your own father screams, insults his fists ready to fly because you dared to sleep in. But when I whispered, "I'd call the police," he laughed in my face, slapping harder, boasting he feared no one. Little did he know that was the spark that ignited my escape. What happened next? Pure heart-pounding justice. If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle of betrayal and pain from the people who should protect you, this story will resonate deep. It's about breaking free, serving up karma to the untouchable, and reclaiming your power. If real-life revenge that hits like a thunderbolt is your vibe, smash that like, subscribe for more gripping Reddit tailies, and let's get into it. This one's a roller coaster of emotion and triumph. The air in my small rural home always felt thick, heavy with unspoken rules and the faint smell of spices from the kitchen I was expected to tend. At 27, I wasn't just a daughter, I was the invisible servant, the target for every misplaced rage. My father, with his broad shoulders and booming voice that echoed through our thin walls, ruled like a king, his political connections in the village making him untouchable. Whispers in the market said he could bend the local authorities to his will, and he wore that arrogance like a crown. My mother, she was the shadow puppeteer, her sharp eyes gleaming with a twisted satisfaction. Whenever I stumbled, she'd twist my words over tea, painting me as the ungrateful one, the problem child, all while smiling that hypocritical smile, the kind that said she was the devoted parent. Even as she sixed him on me, it started like any other day, but the injustice had been brewing for years. I'd wake to the roosters crowing at dawn, but that morning exhaustion pinned me to the bed. I was juggling an online English honors course and secret sneaking study sessions between chores and tutoring neighborhood kids for pocket change that barely covered basics. My hands often bruised from his outbursts, typed assignments late into the night. But sleep? That was a luxury he denied. At 9 a.m., his voice pierced the door, offensive slurs hurled like stones, each one chipping at my resolve. I pulled the thin blanket tighter, heart racing, ignoring him in a desperate bid for peace. The banging started, then fists against wood like a storm, unleashing, shaking the frame until splinters threatened to fly. He burst in face, twisted in fury, yanking me up by the arm. The slaps came fast, sharp stings across my cheek, the metallic taste of blood on my lip. Get up. Breakfast at 6, lunch at 10. That's your job. He roared, not because he cared about health or routine, but control. This wasn't new. He'd beaten me for talking back, for a meal not hot enough, for existing in his bad moods. My mother hovered in the doorway, arms crossed, a faint smirk betraying her, enjoying the chaos. She'd likely stirred by complaining about my laziness. Inside, my thoughts swirled. Why me? I've done nothing but try to please them. The powerlessness clawed at me, a deep ache in my chest, like drowning in a sea of their hypocrisy. Frustration mounted as the day dragged on. I moved through chores on autopilot, body aching, mind numb. Every glance from my mother felt like a jab, her words from the night before echoing. She's so disrespectful, always causing trouble. She'd manipulate him effortlessly, her voice sweet. Poison, while pretending to be the peacemaker in front of relatives, but alone. She'd watch the beatings with that gleam, as if my pain fed her ego. I had nowhere to turn. Rural India, no close friends, relatives who sided with them, echoing that family matters stay in the family. My education was limited, dreams of independence stifled by their rules. No job outside, no leaving without permission. The injustice burned, hotter, universal. That betrayal from blood, the disrespect that grinds you down until your shell. That evening, as bruises bloomed purple on my skin, a flicker of false hope sparked. My father grumbled about village politics over dinner, boasting how he'd handled a dispute with his connections. Maybe, just maybe, if I appealed to his ego, reasoned quietly. I approached him hesitantly, voice trembling. Please, this has to stop. I can't take it anymore. For a split second, his eyes softened, or so I thought. The room quiet, the scent of cooling rice hanging in the air, but then he laughed, a guttural sound that shattered the illusion. You? Complain. I don't fear anyone, not you, not the police. He doubled down, shoving me against the wall, more slaps raining down as my mother nodded approvingly from the corner. The setback hit like a wave, crashing over me hope, extinguished tension coiling tighter. My hands shook uncontrollably, echoes of the post I'd type later that night on Reddit, seeking strangers' advice because I had no one else. The next days blurred into escalation. He ramped up the demands, earlier wake-ups, more chores, while she whispered lies, fueling his fire, a minor spill during lunch. Another beating his belt, whistling through the air, leaving welts that burned with every move. Her hypocritical lectures followed. If you just behave, this wouldn't happen. The air grew suffocating, each breath laced with fear. Internal doubts plagued me. Am I crazy? Is this normal? But beneath it, frustration hardened into resolve. I scrolled Reddit comments and secret strangers urging NGOs, helplines, police. Their words ignited something. I wasn't powerless. I could fight back legally, quietly. The breaking point came one humid night. After another tirade, him banging pots because dinner was late, I locked myself in my room, heart pounding like a drum, tears streamed, but clarity cut through. No more. The sense, what if I recorded it? Contacted help? The revenge plan, formed in whispers to myself, suspenseful step-by-step doubt, nod first. He's connected. They'll ignore me. What if it backfires? But determination grew. I'd tutor more safe scraps for a phone plan. Secretly, I'd call the women's helpline. From a neighbor's line, learn about the Domestic Violence Act, gather evidence. Photos of bruises, audio of his rants, find an NGO online despite the rural isolation, plan a bus to the city. Fear twisted my gut, but visions of freedom pushed. Me, a job, my own place, them facing consequences. I'd become financially independent, but first exposed their arrogance execution. With tense, sharp breaths in the dark, I snapped photos on a hidden app, recorded his next outburst, doors slamming. Insults flying. I'm not afraid of police. He bellowed again, unknowing heart hammering. I slipped out during market hours, boarding a rattling bus to the nearest town. At the NGO office, sweat beading on my forehead, I spilled everything, trembling. Hands clutching my phone. They listened, eyes kind but firm, guiding me to file an FIR with legal aid lawyers. No turning back now. The police arrived unannounced, sirens cutting through the village, quiet like a knife. My father's face, once smug, now drained of color, twisted in disbelief as officers cuffed him, reading charges under the DV Act. This is a mistake. I know people. He stammered, anger boiling into humiliated rage, his political facade cracking before neighbors' stares. My mother? She collapsed in a chair, feigned tears turning real as reality hit her. Manipulation, exposed whispers of hypocrisy spreading like wildfire. No more control. A protection order barred them from me, maintenance mandated while I rebuilt for me. It was triumph relief flooding like cool rain after drought. I stepped into a shelter, then my own small apartment, tutoring turning to a steady job. The weight lifted, breaths free, a smile genuine for the first time. Justice wasn't vengeance. It was liberation, their downfall, a mirror to their cruelty. In the end, karma isn't about destruction, it's about balance. When the powerful fall, it's because someone brave enough stood up. You deserve safety, respect, and the power to rewrite your story. Never let fear silence you. If this tale of escape and sweet justice gave you goosebumps or fired up your sense of right, pound that like button and share in the comments. What's the most empowering revenge you've witnessed against abusers? Subscribe now for more Reddit stories that deliver the karma punch. Catch you next time.